Hello, I'm Rod Walton with PowerGen International, and I'm here with Chris Mosier, who is the Executive Vice President of Operations at NRG Energy and one of our keynote speakers today. Chris, it was a great talk. It was very fascinating to hear what you guys do and kind of the markets you work in. And I just want to start asking you, because some of our audience will understand and some won't, but what it means to operate in a competitive environment.
Sure, it means that we're earning our customers and the ability to run our plants every day. We don't have a captive rate base, so what we have to do is anybody who is our retail customer has chosen to be with us in a competitive space, and then also our units, our generation units, when they're running, they are winning an auction literally every day to be able to provide power to the markets.
Truly competitive.
Yep.
And so talk about what happened in Texas this summer, a very interesting thing, and how the markets worked.
Yeah, well, we saw really high prices for the first time in a long time. The market cap is $9,000 a megawatt hour. We spent several hours at $9,000. In fact, the entirety of August ended up averaging $257, which is crazy high, you know, the highest we've seen since 2011. It came about in a couple of different ways. We have seen high temperatures before, which haven't translated into power, and we've seen units leave the system, retirements leave the system, because there wasn't the pricing signal to stay around. You know, there was a lot of consternation about that. How do we keep reliability? You know, if the pricing doesn't signal that power, price, you know, that generation should be around. And to their credit, the Public Utility Commission of Texas went out on a limb and changed some of the scarcity pricing mechanism called ORDC. And they made some tweaks to it, and look, we saw it worked, right? The market was a success. The pricing indicated the levels of scarcity and reliability threat that were there for a couple of, you know, for several of for a couple of weeks.
Okay. Well, and NRG also operates in on the eastern United States, and it's a slightly different situation there, but you have states there where they're subsidizing nuclear power, and you mentioned some very interesting thoughts on that. Could you kind of elaborate on that as well?
Yeah, certainly. I think that if states are actually interested in buying carbon-free electricity, there are ways that they could buy a lot more of it for the prices that they're paying, rather than just choosing to throw money at, you know, last century's technologies. If they opened up a competitive auction to all of the different sources that could provide carbon-free electricity, wind, solar, you know, et cetera, as opposed to just saying, hey, we're going to give it to these nukes, I think that you would get a lot more carbon-free electricity for the money they're spending, which is in fact billions.
Right. Very interesting thoughts from the keynote here at PowerGen International. I'm Rod Walton with Chris Mosier, who is Executive Vice President of Operations at NRG Energy.